What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? Cool. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing good. It's NFP today.
Really?
Yep.
So it is confirmed?
It's confirmed, yeah. It's NFP at 3:30 today. NFP at 3:30
I think
today.
it's a big one, eh?
Yeah. I think so too, I think so too. So I just want to go over some stuff with you guys preparing for NFP. Basically what I'm looking at. And you guys can make sense of it. If it does make sense, and you guys can jump on what I think is going to happen. If not, do whatever you think is most likely to happen. Is it lagged? No, it's not. It's fine. Are we trading NFP live? I'm not sure if anyone's doing it. I won't be here, but I'm gonna break down NFP for you guys. What I anticipate could happen. Remember, this is my predictions. It's not that it's guaranteed or set in stone. But let's just give the guys a minute just to jump on, and then I'll get right into it. Cool. So, NFP non-farm payroll is today at 3:30. Right? Now, as those that have been tracking the dollar with me for a couple of days, we did mention that overall the dollar is bullish, right? And ideally what I would have liked to have seen is that move that we had yesterday. I would have liked to have seen that play out today for NFP, right? But yesterday we had that huge bullish candle and price has pushed to the upside. Now, overall, I'm still bullish on the dollar. Well, dollar is bullish based on all time frames. I'm a technical trader. I don't focus too much on fundamentals. I mean, if you do that, that's okay as well. But for me, I trade technically and I trade what I see on the charts, right? So on my 4-hour time frame, if I have a look at the dollar, I see price creating nice higher highs and higher lows, right? Price pushed down. This was the retracement which we traded. Price pushed up, and now it's currently at that previous high. Now, that previous high is a resistance point as well, right? As you guys can see, right? And it's a psychological level of 100 to 50. Okay. Now, we did get a rejection of that yesterday, right? If you look here, you see there's a rejection, and yesterday we did get a rejection here as well, right? Which is a bit concerning, because ideally what I would have liked to have seen is the daily close yesterday close above this line of resistance, meaning I wanted to see it close above a support, right? Unfortunately, it didn't. All right. However, the market could just be waiting for the momentum of NFP to break above that level of resistance. So overall, for me, I am bullish on the dollar for NFP. Okay. 4-hour time frame as well. If you just look at the lower time frames, you'll see we're bullish here as well. So all our time frames are bullish. There's no time frame that is bearish on the dollar currently, right? This was the retracement of price creating that lower lows and lower highs. And as soon as we broke that point, as I mentioned to you guys on, when was it? Tuesday. As soon as we break that point, we look for buys on the dollar, right? The market did exactly that. It broke above, and then once it broke above this point, you see it shot to the upside. Right? Do you think we might see a heavy push for NFP with the spike since it's... So that's what's going to be interesting to see, right? Because we had the shutdown, right? And it's the first NFP since. So I really don't know how it's going to react. We could see hectic volatility. We could see also the market maybe not move as crazy as we anticipated it to, right? But I mean, with NFP, you guys know, fund an account that you are willing to risk, right? Those that trade props, I advise you not to trade it for news, just because the market can go against you and you can lose all your hard work that you've built up over a period of time, which I don't find worth it, right? So what I do is, what I'd suggest you do is fund an account, right? I use space markets. I'm sure all you guys on this here use space markets as well. Fund an amount that you are willing to risk, right? Fund an account that you are willing to risk, and 10 minutes before news event, open your trade in the direction you anticipate the market to go in as hard as you can, and as soon as the news hits, price pushes either up in your direction, you blow the amount you are willing to risk, or if the move is nice, of course you can make a good amount of money, right? But only leave in that account what you are willing to risk. Don't leave anything more than that, right? It's just safer that way, right? So gold, yeah. So I'm gonna go over a few currency pairs now that I've mentioned what I'm expecting from the dollar. So dollar, I'm expecting bullish, right? All time frames, as I mentioned, is bullish. Everything looks set for a buy. Even if I look at my 1 hour time frame, we can use maybe this as a low, that as a high. We could see a retracement on this time frame before it starts pushing up, right? So yeah, NFP, I'm looking to buy the dollar. Now, not guaranteed it'll go up. We could also get a spike to the downside, which is basically a retracement of yesterday's move before you get that push up. If that happens, it's one of those things, right? But overall, I'm looking to buy the dollar, right? So that means I'm looking for sells on GBPUSD. I'm looking for sells on EURJPY. So let's just go over those two first. So let's go to GBPUSD, see if we can see anything that makes sense. So GBPUSD, okay, structure wise on the daily, you guys can see it is bearish overall, right? Price is creating these lower lows, lower highs. Very high probability this is going to be a lower high, and price is going to push down now and create a lower low, which we could see at NFP, right? We got that resistance there, which was that point, right? That psychological level there. You can see it as a previous line of support. Price pushed up, rejected underneath the resistance, and price is on its way down now, right? So with this, let's have a look at this point. I see there is a line of support here, right? If you guys have a look, you guys can see there's a support, there's a support. So what would be nice to see here, ideally, we'd like to see maybe price push up for the rest of the day, right, just before the news event, and maybe get some rejection at this point, right? Because you do see it as a support here, you do see it as a support here. So if price maybe comes up to this area, right, and get some nice rejection at this point, and then we could potentially see for NFP that move push down from there, right? Let's just go on the lower time frame and have a look. Yeah, that would make sense as well, because if you look at my hourly time frame, I can use that as a high and this as a low, right? There's a high, that's a low, and if you look here, it's lining up nicely with my FUB area, right? It's lining up very nicely with my FUB area, right? For price to basically push up to this point and then push down, right? So sells from 1.31000, nice selling opportunity, I'd say, for NFP, right? So that I'd monitor to see how price is at that point, and then if price is where I need it to be, I'd look to take a sell on GBPUSD, right? For me personally, guys, I don't trade indices in a hurry for news events. I prefer trading currencies. I just always been that way. I feel like there's less wicks and stuff like so. So I will go over some indices for you guys as well, based on what I anticipate. But yeah, for me, I'll be trading most likely at a currency pair. Let me just have a look. W's in the chat. Cool. EURJPY, let's have a look at what we see on EURJPY. So EURJPY, On the daily time frame, we are bearish as well. Makes sense. Dollar's bullish. This will be bearish on the daily time frame. You guys can see we got that lower high, that lower low. This most likely is the lower high for price to push down and create the lower low. So here we'll be looking for sells, right? Let's just plot some support and resistance levels or strong levels in the market, where the market has respected a few times in the past. We got this line of 500. See nice support here in the past. Why is it doing this? Nice support here, nice support at that point. Price broke below. I don't know if you're gonna get a push up here, but I mean a push up here would be nice. Before the news event, it would be nice to see the price come up here before taking those shorts. But I mean, guys, if price is not where it needs to be, one of two things can happen. It can either go on without us. So for example, come the news, right? Come 3:30, if the market is not at an ideal price, meaning at a strong level of resistance in this case, there's one of two things that can happen. The momentum is so strong that it can push price without even reaching it. Or what could happen, and I've seen it happen a few times in previous NFPs, if price is not at a strong level of resistance or support, if you're looking for a buy in that case, what happens is it spikes to that area and then it goes, right? So that can be a bit of an issue, right? So ideally I want to see price at those levels waiting for NFP. If it is at the levels, I'll risk a little more. If it's not at my levels that are strong, that I'm waiting for price to come to, then I'll still take the trade, but I'll risk a little less, because we could see that spike to those zones before it actually comes and takes direction, right? And you guys know orders and limit orders and stop orders, whatever the case is, sometimes don't always activate during news events, right? And if they do activate, sometimes because of the slippage and stuff, you won't get that exact accurate price. So just pay attention to that when you guys are trading. Less spikes on currencies, correct, bruh. Less spikes on currencies. Yeah, so GU sells, Euro USD sells, USDJPY. Looking for buys on USDJPY, right? Extremely bullish, man, on this here. It's very bullish. If I just have a look at the daily here, right? If I just have a look at the daily, if you guys have a look here, right, this is a strong line of support. 1, 2, 3, right? And that's a psychological level. Let's make it 750, right? You guys know I love my psychological levels, right? So you guys can see nice rejection there. And what I like about this is that the previous daily candle did close above this, right? So what would be nice to see here, right, is what price is currently doing. For one price to come down to 156,750, right? And here it'll be nice to see some rejection, right? So should at 330 price is playing around this point here and we're getting some nice rejection on this level, then come 330, I'm pretty sure we'll see a nice push up, provided the dollar's bullish. Remember, this is everything I'm going over is in anticipation that the dollar will be bullish, right? It's not a guaranteed thing. It's just my bias, right? And it will be nice to see for NFP the market pushes up to at least this point. Can even in fact go above, but I mean, this is a nice target. That previous high is there. How many pips is this from one zone to the next? This is like a 200 pip move, so a very nice movement. This will be dope. This would definitely be dope. So yeah, GBPUSD sells, Euro USD sells, USDJPY buys. Right now, which one I take will depend at the time. I'll go over everything that I'm discussing with you guys now. I'll go over it. I'll see, okay, is any one of these at a potential line of entry, right? For now, my what looks good now currently is USDJPY and GBPUSD. Those are on my radar for now. I'll monitor them, but I mean, come 3 o'clock or so and I see even Euro USD looks good for whatever reason, based on technical things, I'll probably take that. So just just pay attention to what you choose to take. With indices, right? With indices, I'm gonna run over some indices with you guys for what I expect and what I anticipate. So the problem with indices, right? Indices ideally are meant to move in the opposite direction to the dollar. Meaning if the dollar goes up, indices are meant to ideally go down. Alright? But we found in recent times the dollar and the indices are moving in the same direction. Very similar to gold. We found that a few times it's moving in the same direction, right? But on my daily time frame, looking at indices, looking at Nasdaq, I think of all the indices, Nasdaq cells look good, right? Here's the high, here's the low. It's a nice deep retracement, right? There is an area of support. There is an area of support and resistance, right? Also a psychological level of 25,000. No, in fact, it's above 25,000, my bad. It's above there. Let's see. Let's see. So we have this area here that it can also come up to, that area there. But even here, there is minor resistance. Let's have a look. You guys can see price is slowing down there. 125. Yeah, that 125 is a strong area. If you guys have a look here, you guys can see how it rejected there. It fell. If you guys have a look what's happening here, you can see price is rejecting, right? So yeah, if I was taking an indice, or if I do decide to take an indice, I'm looking out for sells on Nasdaq, because of course I'm anticipating a bullish dollar. But as I said, this is a bit risky because we found in past few news events that the dollar and your indices are moving in the same direction, which shouldn't be the case. All right. But based on technicals, this is bearish. Based on, even if you look at momentum of that 4 hour, all right, once price has pushed up to this resistance, lots of bullish momentum. This was because of news, the releases last night, right? But if you have a look here at that previous 4 hour close, you can see it's just a stop of that bullish momentum, right? And you can see it looks like price is changing now, right? Momentum is changing, right? So yeah, I'll be looking out for potential sells on this if I was taking an indice. I did have a look at US30. Doesn't look as clean as Nasdaq. So if I was taking an indice, I'd look for Nasdaq sells. Does that make sense? Any questions? I want to ask for advice. When you trade, what are the main pairs to focus on? Not just trading 100 pairs. You have 2 or 3 you focus on. It's hard for me to find my 1 or 2. So with me, I do have pairs that I particularly like more than others, right? However, trade a setup. Don't trade a pair because you like the pair, right? So for example, when I open my chart, I would look at pairs that I potentially like. I'd look at pairs that I like, or most likely to trade. For example, my USD pairs, I like those. My indices, I'd look out for things like so. But I mean, if I can't find a setup on those that meet my rules in terms of opening a trade, if I can't find any trade on those pairs, then I'd look out for other pairs, like any other pairs, like for example maybe CAD JPY, for example, or GBPUSD, right? So I do have my favorites, but I don't necessarily only focus on those. I just focus on price action, wait for a setup that is aligning with my strategy, and I take the trade based on that. What's the level for sales on GBPUSD? So for GBPUSD, I went over that, but here's it here. Oh, it looks like price is picking up quite nicely. I'd like to see price come to 1.31000. That's where I'd like to see price come to. The reason why, if you look at my daily, you can see a rejection. So I'd like to see price push up there, reject at that point, and come down. Also on my 4 hour, you can see what a nice point that was, right? You guys can see rejection, rejection. So we had that breakout. I want price to basically pull back, reject, and come down. Also on my hourly time frame, if you guys have a look at structure, right? If you guys have a look at this lower time frame structure, you guys can see prices creating these lower lows and lower highs. There's a high, there's my low, this is my hot zone. So there's 3 different time frames that are giving me reason to believe that price should push up to that point before taking a sell, right? And as I mentioned, if price is not there at that time, right, and the dollar is overall bullish, what we could see is maybe a spike into that area before it comes down. So just pay attention to that. It is a possibility. But as I said, NFP should be seen as a fun event to make money. Not something that should stress you out. Because, I mean, we don't know what they're exactly going to say, and we're not 100% sure. We're never 100% sure what exactly is going to happen. But just risk what you can afford to risk. Fund an account that you're willing to blow. If you blow, it's one of those things. Those who understand price action and know how to trade wouldn't have an issue, because you can go back on the market when everything has quietened down a bit. Look for a good setup, high probability setup, and then you look to take a trade. Don't treat it like it's one trade, either make money or don't make money, or don't treat it like that. It's just a fun trade. Ideally we want to make money, but I mean, if you don't, price goes against you in whatever direction you decide to trade. If it goes against you, it's fine. Wait for the volatility to slow down, look out for setups, follow your strategy, and then you'll recover those losses and make profit as well. Oh, I must go over gold. Okay, I'll go over gold. Gold is sinking. Gold is sinking. As I did mention, with the dollar. What I did see a few of the times is that the dollar and gold would move in similar directions, which shouldn't be the case, right? Gold should move opposite of the dollar, and we're starting to see that now, right? The gold starting to come down. Maybe a potential push down to 39.25. That would be a nice move. That would be a very nice move. See that rejection of that 75 level, price is on its way down. I mean, I'd sell gold if I was trading gold, just based on I anticipate a bullish dollar. But remember, guys, whatever I'm going over is, please don't forget, this is all it's in anticipation of a bullish dollar, right? If the dollar is bearish, whatever I said is going to move in the opposite direction. Okay, so just keep that in mind, right? I did go over why I think it's going to be a bullish dollar, right? Technically, I went over that. So go back, if you just joined late, go back, watch, make sense of it, and then from there you guys can decide. If you agree, then you look out for things that I told you. If you disagree and you think the dollar is going to go bearish, then of course you'd look for the opposite trades, right? But yeah, if I was looking to trade gold today, I'd look for sells, because ideally I expect the dollar to go up. But as I said, for me, I think I'm going to stick to my currencies today, because a few of the times on NFP I've found prices doing opposite of what it's supposed to do, because dollar will be bullish, you'll find even NASDAQ and US 30 is bullish. So yeah, the way you chill shows you know what you do. Thank you, G. I appreciate it, my bro. Did you cover EURJPY? I haven't covered EURJPY. I'll go over that now. I just went over some stuff for NFP to prepare you guys for that, based on what I see. For EURJPY, let's have a look what I can see. Where is it? Good show. Okay, here you go. So EURJPY extremely bullish. And sometimes when it's bullish like this, it's a bit of a problem because it doesn't give you entries, doesn't give you deep retracements. So that's a bit of a, not a problem. I mean, it's not a problem if you're already in. But yeah, I wouldn't look to sell this, man. This is just pushing to the upside. Wait for potential buys. Wait for the market to come to strong levels of support. Wait for it to reject supports, and then look to buy and target new highs. Because that's all it's doing. It's just basically climbing, right? It's not even giving deep retracements. So you look at areas like so. So you see here, there's that bullish candle and that bearish candle, right? Just check if you put a support level there, see if you can get a psychological level close by, and if you do, you wait for price to come to that point, and if you see rejection, just buy. In a market where the price is just pushing to the upside, you'll find you won't get deep retracements, right? So a very similar story happened here, right? You can see there's a line of support. Let's see if it's a psychological level of 250. Yeah, 100%. You see price pushed up, found a bit of support, price pushed up again, came back to that psychological level, rejected, meaning price came down, couldn't break up below it, closed above it, price pushed up. So very similar scenario. If price comes down here, you'll see it reject. If it rejects, buy and target new highs. Yeah, a lot of the times you'll see it in a few places. Even here, same story here. There was a resistance. There was a psychological level of 250. Right? Price came, closed above, rejected, price continued pushing to the upside. So I think that's the best way to trade this. And price is just flowing in one direction, continue milking it until you see maybe lower time frame structure break and start to retrace. Then you'll go and pull out your FUB based on what you see on your higher time frame. For example, if I see that we break below this here, then I'll just monitor structure overall and I'll say, okay, cool, this could potentially be a low. So if that's a low, that's a high, then I'd expect maybe price to push down to one of these areas here, and then I'd look for buys there. So it's not that I won't look for buys immediately. I would look for buys if price doesn't reject there, but I'll just look at it from a deeper point. As long as it doesn't break this previous low, I'm still looking for buys. Does it make sense? Everyone with me? Any questions? Any other pairs you guys would like me to go over?
The stream went smooth for some reason.
This one?
Yeah.
And I didn't even post it on any of my social. Any other pairs, guys? Any other things you guys would like me to go over? We're doing the giveaway tomorrow, eh?
Yeah, tomorrow.
What time are we doing the giveaway?
I think we do it around too early, man.
So what time? Maybe around 2:30.
I'll explain to you afterwards. I have an idea.
So how are we gonna give it away? Each one of us will get accounts to choose people. That would be dope. That would be dope.
It'll be nice.
Hey, this USD CAD was such a nice setup, man. I was actually waiting for this buy. I was hoping that yesterday the market wouldn't move as much. And I'll explain why. Because price had pushed down to my hot zone. Alright, so if you guys have a look, this was a nice trade, man. This was in fact what I wanted to trade for CPI, right? So basically this was my low. That is the high, right? So on Tuesday, price closed like so, right? That bearish black candle there. I'll show you now. 1 second. Right. So yeah, you can see price pushed down nicely to my zone. Nice support, Price came here. Yesterday's candle, the daily candle, all I wanted that thing to do was just stay here at this line of support, because I knew I'm anticipating price to push up and create a higher high, right? But unfortunately, you guys can see it already took off without us. Those that are in my community, no, I sent this out. Someone, in fact, one of my members, in that buy, he jumped in. So yeah, that would have been a nice move, man. That would have been a dope move. So I've caught from here. But price already went on. But I mean, even today, price hasn't pushed up and reached the previous high. NFP, you can still see this push up to those previous highs. Let's have a look at that line of support and see. You see this here, just close below. That's just the only issue. If you close above, it'll be safer. But even here, that lower time frame low has not broken. So maybe for NFP, we'll see it just push to the upside. We just have to wait and see. Please do gold. I did go over gold. You guys can just rewind and you'll see it there. I did go over gold. Guys, just remember, tomorrow we're doing giveaways of funded accounts. How many subscribers are you on now?
Right now?
I think we're almost on 2,000 now.
Almost on 2,000 right now.
Oh, in a few days.
Yeah, like this is literally under 2 weeks, we're on 1,700. 1,700.
Yeah, we're on 1,700 subscribers. Guys, share this with your friends. So for every 1,000 we get, we're going to give a giveaway.
Yeah.
Hopefully, right? So tomorrow we're doing a giveaway.
And if you get another to 2,000, we'll do a giveaway again. Yeah.
Why do I recommend opening trades 10 minutes before NFP? If you're under my link, don't stress too much. If you're not under my link, make sure you hold the trade for 10 minutes. Make sure. Right, if you're under my link on Space Markets and stuff, there is some perks. But if you're not, just hold it, because remember, the brokers do have scalping rules and stuff like so. So yeah, if you do have a Space Markets account, you are trading with Space Markets and you want to be linked under me, just message me on Instagram, and then I'll just I'll tell you guys what to email them to be linked under me. If you already have an account, if you don't have an account and you want to sign up with a Space Markets account, then you'll just use the link and sign up. That's, I think, somewhere around here, and then it'll be linked under me. But also remember, for news events, they do drop the leverage. So if you find at 2 o'clock the market is at your point where you want to potentially enter, if you find maybe at maybe 2:30, whatever the time may be, right before the news event, for example, let's just say we're looking at GBPUSD, right? We're looking at sales on GBPUSD, right? So if you find, for example, let's just say at 2 o'clock or 2:30 or whatever the time may be, that price is already at this point and starting to reject. Start entering some positions. Because remember, we're waiting for sales from here. So if price is there holding, waiting for us, we can start entering slowly. And as it gets close to the time, full margin. But only fund what you're willing to risk, guys. Remember, only fund what you are willing to risk. How did you work on your psychology before you became really profitable? Psychology is hard to work on, bro. Even now, I do have times where I struggle with a bit of psychology. I don't think it's something you can ever master. I just think you can just get a bit better at it, but I don't think we'll ever master it. But it's also because I trust my chart work. I trust my trading style. So when I do take losses and stuff, I try not to get too hysterical, because I know that, listen, I'll find a setup, I'll take the trade, and I'll just let the numbers play out, because my risk and reward makes sense. So even if I take 3 losses in a row, I just have to take 1 win and I make back those losses. So I try not to get too stressed out, but yeah, I still struggle as well. It's not something that I've mastered, and I don't think anyone can master that. Taking a loss is taking a loss, no one likes losing, but you just need to look at it as an expense in trading, right? So for example, if you had a business and you're selling bread, Your expense is first buying the bread. That's your expense. Right? At that point, you haven't made profit off it. You're not sure if someone's coming to buy that bread, right? But you have to outlay money first to get stock, and then from there you'll start selling your bread, and slowly, eventually, you'll make profit. So you look at a loss like that. You see an opportunity. You took the opportunity. The market went against you. It's just an expense. You go. You try the next trade, and yeah. Yeah, Jacob bought USD CAD from the bottom. Oh, it was such a nice setup, man. It was such a nice setup. I sent it on the community, on my communities. Imagine I sent it and didn't take it because I was waiting for the NFP and it just left without me. Oh, Momo Sidzo. Momo Sidzo. Cool. Is there any other pairs that you guys want me to have a look at? What happened at London? Let's see what happened at London Open. I saw these buys were looking decent. That previous low wasn't broken. But I see now it's creating these lower lows and lower highs. So it could be a bit dangerous here. But I mean, if you break above here, you guys can... could see this continue pushing to the upside. German 30. Not for NFP, just normal trading. See those lows? Price is struggling to break below these lows. Price is struggling to break below this. Once price breaks this point, start coming back. Have a look at NZD USD. Okay, let me have a look at NZD USD. NZD USD. So NZD USD, if dollar's bullish, NZD USD should be bearish. NZD USD should be bearish. Nice line of resistance, which was previous support. Hey, the only problem with these pairs that are not major pairs, sometimes the psychological levels are a bit far from where price is, because the pip count is not as big. Yeah, but you see even here now, this is also telling me, hey, we could get a spike up. Let's have a look on the daily time frame. See, daily time frame, that's a nice line of resistance. So ideally, if this could push up to this point here before the news, it'll be nice to sell from there. If price is not up there, we could even get a spike at NFP to this point before we get that push to the downside. That's my concern. That's my concern. That's my concern. That's my concern. This point is a nice point. It's at 125 level. It is strong as well. It's a nice rejection, nice rejection. But yeah, I'd like to see price come up to that 250 will be ideal. That 250 line would be ideal. Even if I use my FIB from this high to that low, you'll see how nice my hot zone lines up with this point. For basically seeing price come up here, and then from there, bang, sinking to the downside. Sinking to the downside. What made you focus more on personal account and not much on the funded account? I saw your IG. Okay, so the reason why I trade personal funds, so that I don't like funded accounts. I have traded funded accounts before. But for example, to buy a funded account, let's just say you put 4,000 Rand, right, to buy that account. I remember, this is my perspective, guys, it's my view, right? Everyone, each to their own. I'm just explaining to you why I prefer trading my own accounts, meaning funding my own accounts, opposed to buying challenges now. So let's just say I buy an account for 4K, right? This is my challenge, right? So yeah, we'll go for F for funded, and this P is for personal. Okay, and then here I fund 4K. Okay. In order for me to take out money from my funded account, all right, in order for me to withdraw any money from this account, I have to go through a challenge, right? In order for me to pass a challenge, I need to take trades that are correct. right? So let's just say through the whole phase, right, or throughout the phases, whatever the case, it took me 4 trades. It takes me 4 trades to pass, right? 4 correct trades, right? I can take 4 correct trades and then I'll only be funded, right? Even then when I'm funded, I still have to get another trade correct in order to actually take out money from there, right? And at that point, when I am funded, I could take all wrong trades, right? Let's say I took 3 wrong trades and then I end up withdrawing nothing. Right? So 0 came into my bank account, right? Whereas on my personal account, if I took the same 4 trades that I took here and I took it correct, for every trade that I took correct, I would have withdrawn money. Every single trade I would have drawn money. Even if I then, on the next trade, I get something wrong, right, which I would have gotten wrong on this side, it doesn't matter because I still have more than 4 grand. Here, I got at least my initial capital back after the first 4 trades and I got profit. Here, after 4 trades, I can still fail and go home with 0. You understand? So that's the only reason why I prefer my personal trading. Right? There is a space for funded accounts. I'm not saying I won't go back to funded accounts, ever trade it again. It's just not something I'm very enthusiastic for. I'd rather take a trade if I get it right. If I was going to get it right on my funded account, I would have got it right on my personal account. So I'll just charge the money there. Also, a misconception is that with a funded account, if you got 50,000, you funded 50. You're not. You only got 5,000 rand. Okay? You only got 5,000 rand. If you got a million rand account, you only got 100,000 rand. Right? So that's just the reality of it. That's just my view, as I said. And yeah, each to their own. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. It's nice to hear opinions of others as well. I think with Common Capital you get funded instantly, eh? So I mean, once you pass, you get funded instantly. So it's not about the weight and stuff. It's not about that. For me, it's just about if I'm taking 5 trades correct to pass the challenge, I'd rather take those 5 trades in my personal account, make money, and see the money in my bank account. Simple as that. How long do you have to wait for Common Capital to be funded? What's up, my G? How long can you use the same levels of support? It's for my personal outside. So your support and resistance levels, you'll see if it's valid, man. Like for example, let's go to the Geo, the one that I'm anticipating. Can you see this looks nice, yo? Hey, I hope you don't get a spike first before it pushes, guys, yo. It's rather that we just be wrong one time. If it goes one direction, it must just go, so at least people can eat. That thing of spiking some of us, taking us out, we're bored of that.
So I'm asking, like, how long do you actually have to wait for Comit cap?
I said there's no thing, once you pass, you get it, eh?
It should be, it sometimes depends on, it's usually most times it's the same day.
Yeah.
But if there's activities that they have to review,
yeah.
It's not just a manual, they actually review the trades. Actually, we take out time.
Oh, so okay, so I just found out, I'm not sure if you guys heard that. So and someone asked,
if it's a major, like say like.
But come explain.
Yeah, I can explain.
Okay, so someone asked how long does it take to actually get funded with Common Capital once you pass. So he's just gonna explain that.
So I'm explaining to you guys, right? So the first thing is, let's just say there's some, it's clean activity, very quick, easy. We look at the trade activity because we manually look at the trade activity. When we look at the activity and if it looks suspicious, then we take some more time. So maybe like take a day or 2 before you get your account. But if it's a clean work, clean trades, you follow the rules, you get it the same day. So again, for you who's maybe asking, you can just share with us exactly how long you're waiting, and then you can share us your email, send us directly, and then we can have a look into it. Okay. Perfect.
Thanks, my G.
What's this?
Yeah, guys, but remember, I'm not saying I'm against funded accounts. Eh? Please don't get me wrong. I'm not against it. For me, that's just how I manage my money. that's just how I manage my money, and I think it works best for me. But I mean, would I jump onto a funded account? Yeah, definitely I would. But my day-to-day trading, I fund my own money. I make my own money. I withdraw. I get it same day. Eat it same time. I can decide everything the same day, same time. Cool. Is there anything else you guys want me to go over? Anything you guys don't understand?
Yeah, like if you don't have money, no, then problem.
Yeah. I think that it'll
Like
make
the problem will be your way.
your way. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that is true. That is true.
Like there's this one guy we had an interviewer.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Most people know him from Comit Capital.
Yeah.
His name is Tim Z.
Okay.
They don't know who's this person. There's no face. He has no social media.
Yeah.
This guy pulled in like in a short period of time $500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, $500,000 just like life changed from the and now it's just consistent. So
Ah, that's
every
good.
other day he pulls in 100K, 50K, 100K.
What does you trade?
Indices.
Indices.
Yeah, indices mainly in gold. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, so there is people that are making
And we
very good money from.
We're gonna go. We're
from
actually
it,
gonna drive out to him.
Serious?
Yeah, we're gonna like because he's a lead trader.
Yeah.
So when we're doing over 100 like 6 figures, then we go in person to give you a physical flag. Like
Sure.
like thank you.
Yeah.
Like actual physical certificate.
Yeah.
It's made out of like glass, like.
Wow, that's
To
nice.
thank them and then also take them some good stuff, and so we're gonna interview him. So just because no one knows who he is.
Who he
like,
is.
Yeah, like.
Ah, see, guys, so there is people doing really well with funded accounts, man. I think it's best to have both. Have your personal account, have your
Yeah.
funded account. Your funded
You
account,
can-
be a bit more cautious because, of course, there's a lot of
Commit,
rules.
you take it out to green space
100%. Use your
and
You use your funded account to get out capital. You fund your personal account. I think that works very well. So yeah, guys, those that don't have Space Markets account links or don't have Space Market accounts, use the link in the description. Sign up, get an account. If you already have an account and you're not linked to an IB already, meaning your mentor doesn't have a link or you don't have a mentor, then you can message me to be linked under me. But if you are linked under one of the mentors, for example, Stuff One or Keys or any one of that sort, there's no reason to ask to be linked under me. You can stay there. They'll take care of you. All right. Cool, guys. Hope it makes sense. All the best for today. And yeah, we'll chat tomorrow where we do the giveaway. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Goodbye.